Hello everyone, Skippy here, and welcome to One Piece episode 1059, directed by Yusuke Suzuki and supervised by Masayuki Takagi. While his board is almost surely corrected by the series directors, this episode looks like it'll be a surprisingly strong one all things considered for Suzuki, though I'm unsure of how extensive the corrections may be, obviously. So I'm still going to go in with semi-modest expectations, especially with the episodes that are coming up right after, as the non-Zoro parts that we can see in the preview still do look fairly standard. So let's not waste any more time and see if this next episode of Zoro's fight is better than the last. This episode covers the CP0 vs Drake and Apu sections from chapter 1032 not covered last week, and the first 8 or so pages of chapter 1033, and all in all it is pretty standard when it comes to progression, as not much has really changed from the original chapters. So it's pretty raw in that sense, and as someone who was kinda ho-hum on this section during the manga, not because of the action with Zoro, but everything else, I'm really no different on it here. We've kinda just reached that point where the arc starts to drag a lot, but that's not the anime's fault, obviously. And when it comes to solid music choices and everything, it at the very least does a good job as always with setting the tone and such so it doesn't feel awkward or ham-fisted. It's a good and straightforward adaptation. Your mileage will just vary depending on how you feel about the original content that it's lifted from. While you can certainly tell in many instances of the action and really a lot of bits of the episode that the storyboard was pretty steamrolled by series director corrections, which helps the Zoro action stand out even more even when lifting from the manga, as Suzuki himself isn't the best at action, it all still looks premium all the same, with eye shots and just awesome atmosphere and compositions all around that don't completely overshadow the ideas that you can see Suzuki was in charge of. Because there's definitely his touch still left within it all, and even if he's not as talented as some other directors, you can still tell that he tries to put effort where it counts at least. On both sides of the coin, I wish maybe they didn't try to adapt certain manga panels verbatim, as with stuff like Apu kicking the CP0 agent, it just ends up kinda looking awkward. But it was a fairly pretty good looking board that I didn't fully expect, and while the animation isn't similarly premium, there are a few neat little bits here and there that are inspired enough when it comes to stuff like smears, line work, and impact frames, that it's at least fun to look at. It's certainly not a mind-blowing episode, but for the content it's dealt with, I enjoyed it a fair amount, and it surprised me a bit in places relative to what my expectations were going in. And next week we should be getting an even better episode with episode 1060. With a storyboard coming from 1051's Wataru Matsumi and co-series director Tatsuya Nagamine, the flashback to Zoro's childhood with his wise samurai will certainly feel amazing. And I'm interested to see what exactly it has in store when it comes to the bigger picture of that, as the preview doesn't show much from the get-go, despite looking nice as expected thanks to Shimaya's execution of the boards. Anyways guys, that's it for now. I'm Skippy, and seeing Matsuda draw Zoro with 2 eyes took some getting used to.